Hello, what's going on? My name is Dennis, also known as D-Nice, and welcome to a new video. Really more of a channel update here. It's been a long time since I've uploaded here, about 5 years, and I want to give y'all a little bit of information, what's been going on with my life and why I'm back here now, what I'm going to be doing with this channel now that I'm back, and voicing over just a little clip of a little academic drawing that I'm doing for a little bit of visual appeal. Also face reveal. Although I guess it's not the first time my face is online. I have a little gaming channel, but we don't need to talk about that. This is about the art here. Although obviously you can see these stacks of games behind me, and yeah, Baldur's Gate 3. That one. It's hard. But yeah, it's weird. I could just man, I am so confused. That's hilarious. Anywho, we got some fresh newsprint here. Well, it's not super fresh. I've used a few pages, but relatively new newsprint, all things considered. Still got like 80-90 pages left in this book. Got a lot of drawings to be made. This book that I'm using for my reference is Albinus on Anatomy. I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce that name, by the way. I believe it's a German artist from the 18th century, maybe the 19th, but I think the 18th century. Who did a lot of medical illustrations, and this is a book based on the plates that are basically saved from him, and including a lot of text from the great Robert Beverly Hale, who I've watched a lecture series on YouTube in the past, and is just a great anatomical artist with very good teaching skills for just general, like, how to understand the proportions, shapes of where things go. Anywho, I just did a quick flip through the book and found a bone that I was interested in. This one's the femur, the biggest bone in the body, and something fun about it is it's one of the only bones that has the oh gosh, I'm gonna have to look up the name. So they call it the fovea capitis, but it's just the head of the bone. That's where the joint for the hip goes. That ball goes into the pelvis, and that rotation back and forth as well as outwards is possible because of the spherical nature of that part of the bone. It's a surprisingly easy bone, I think, to draw, just because it's very particular. The bottom of it is very much like a traditional bone shape, like what you'd expect from, like, even for some reason I'm thinking of like when you eat chicken or something like that, and you have like the leg bone. It's just the little cartilage cap, right? It's got just that little indent and two things like an hourglass. Same thing with the bottom of this femur. It's a human femur, but still similar bone structure. I think something great about bones is that once you learn to draw one, you've learned to draw most of them. Like the biggest exceptions are like probably the fingers have a lot of individual bones. Or honestly, the whole hand, like, you know, got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bones for one finger all going down. So there's a lot of things going on as it goes down into the wrist and where it connects right here, and you definitely don't want to break those bones. It hurts a lot. Luckily I've not had that experience, but I've got plenty of friends who've fallen off of bikes or fallen off of skateboards that are just, gotta learn how to fall. Anywho, we're going along pretty well on this femur bone. I always start out a drawing like this with either an HB or a 2B pencil, just something very light to give an overall overall proportion of the reference that I'm using. Get full top to bottom with, like, the best way to start a drawing like this, honestly, is just to make a rectangle. It's as simple as it sounds, but just a rectangle, because you want the overall proportion correct before going in with more deeper rendering and things like that. Anyway, I'm talking too much about this femur. I need to talk more about this channel. My bag, it's not like, it's something very important is that this is an academic drawing, but this isn't entirely what I do. This isn't what I'm trying to show for this channel. This is just something that I decided to record. Is just this is what I like to do sometimes to practice and keep myself engaged. I learn a lot through a drawing like this because it's very real, and I may not be drawing a real bone here. It is an illustration of a bone that I'm trying to observe, copy, and render, but the real benefit of something like this is getting that muscle memory down, of making the illusion that this is a real bone, because then when it comes to drawing something else and drawing something that's unrealistic, I know how to make it more like it's real. Like, what are the natural things that give things shape? It's a bit of an abstract thought, because I love to paint in abstract and just let my mind kind of flow and go. But my hands, I like to make sure that they're trained, that they have a flow to them. As you can see, most of the time when I'm even using the pencil, I'm always trying to use sometimes, like right now, I've got the traditional writing down for getting a darker line in, but a lot of the time when I'm doing like a full, like my first lines on it is just holding the pencil. Let me grab the pencil. It's a pen, but holding it like that, just full force, right? Because I don't care about using my fingers. I care about using my wrist. I care about using my elbow. I care about using my shoulder. That's how to draw. Anyway, I'm not trying to come off as like instructor or a teacher or anything like that, but I do want to provide some tips where I can, because I mean, this stuff is not extraordinarily difficult by any means, but I think a lot of people get anxiety trying to come into a drawing like this, because you have a preconceived notion of like, oh, it's got to look this specific sort of way. But I don't think that you should go into a drawing where you're learning expecting a good outcome. You should be expecting to learn something, to try your best and reflect at the end of it on what worked and what didn't, so that the next time you go, you do better, you know? And I hope that I'm doing better with this femur than I've done femurs in the past. It's definitely not my first femur. I've drawn dozens of them. I don't think I've drawn hundreds, but definitely dozens of them in the past. Yeah. So why have I been gone for 5 years? I feel like the biggest thing was that I went to school. I was already in college when I started making videos, but when I first started making videos was when I was first experimenting, I think, with artwork, and when I first decided to take a college level course in the subject. And from that moment, I just had the passion start to build. It changed all of my focus to art, and I actually majored in it and got a degree from University of Maryland in studio art, which I guess I should be proud of. I feel like I'm not as proud of it as I should be, just because I got a very general sort of education in the arts. I don't have a particular specialization, although I did a lot of painting, particularly with oils, but I mainly have a general fundamental knowledge of how to create and what that means, what it looks like to be in a practice. So I do think I have a big advantage, having this knowledge, having this experience of, okay, I've been in a classroom where I'm just working on one thing for 3 hours, and that's totally fine. Like, you need to put the time in to make a good result. I think that's the biggest thing that you can gain out of school, honestly, is just being driven to focus on something and really driving home how much effort it takes to create something, because then you become a better creator when you are humble about the process. Because I found myself, once I've graduated, the past year and a half, 2 years, how long has it been actually? A year and a half. I found myself rushing a lot of the time. I wasn't enjoying the artwork that I was making because I wasn't taking my time with it. I was just trying to just get a quick sketch in or quick painting in, and not fully explore what feelings I was putting onto the page or what subject I was painting or drawing. I think that was a big problem for me, and it just gave me way too much anxiety to really share my work. I was sharing a lot of photographs during this time on Instagram, and I think I was taking a lot more photographs than I was painting and drawing, which is what I prefer to do. I do love photography, and you know, as hard as it is to believe, like, no photo, no video is one-to-one with reality. Even like the me that you see, that I'm like, this isn't the real me. You know, if you saw me in real life, it would be a bit different experience than virtuals that we're engaging in right now. So I have a similar kind of concept with photography. Since you're not taking an image, you are creating an image. You capture a moment in time, and then you use that to create your own vision. Because point of view, depth of field, like, especially depth of field, like just how much a camera can capture. Our eyes are more powerful than any camera lens right now. And because of that, a photograph is restricted. And that restriction, what you do with that is what creates art. Oh man, I am rambling, I think, but I don't know. I just want to have a channel where I'm able to be honest, both with myself and with you guys, the audience, because I think art isn't meant to be just contained within myself and within my brain and within the confines of my room with the things that I make. I think that art is made to be shared and to be discussed, to have a bit of discourse, and to be more than just, oh, that's a blue square. Like, what does blue mean? If it's just a blue square for the painting, what does blue mean? What shade of what shade does that mean? And what does the lighting affecting that blue mean? Because if you view that blue square painting in a gallery space with like huge lighting on it, it's like you see exactly what pigment of blue the artist used. But if you decide that you're going to take that, pick it up, put it into your home, all of a sudden you have much lower levels of lighting, and it becomes a bit more different of an experience, maybe a bit more emotional, maybe a bit more a bit closer to yourself, a bit more like you feel more connection when it's in your home. And then imagine the difference that that same blue square has on just the phone screen. If you scroll down on Instagram and you see just a blue square canvas on a wall, then it becomes the context of it. Because you see all sorts of things on social media. You'll see somebody making a shot off of a skyscraper with Dude Perfect, and the next thing you see is just a blue square on the wall, and you're like, well, that was boring. Yeah, you don't have as much of a connection because the context really matters. And here I'm hoping that I can provide the context through my process, really show what it is that I'm doing, how I'm doing it. Here I'm literally just using graphite pencils and a kneaded eraser to create a bone, an illusion of a bone. And yeah, I'm hoping to learn myself how to do these things and how to become a professional artist. That's really my goal here, is to make this my career. Now that I've got a bit of education, is to actually take the next level up and do this hopefully for the rest of my life, and I'll have to work at a retail store ever again. I served my 8 years. I'm good on that. Yeah, yeah. This is a very refreshing video, I think, because it's been a long time since I've just been, I feel like, open and honest with any kind of online capability, like between like a YouTube comment to just an Instagram post. Like, I feel like there's a facade that you build when you post something, because you know, you don't want to get a hate comment or a troll comment or something like that, so you hold yourself back. And I hold myself back, at least. That's what I'm trying to say, is I've been holding myself back. But here I am in my first video. I am activating this webcam, making sure that I'm talking directly to you, because I think that's incredibly important, to be open, honest, and real. Like, this is me. This is me. I am Dennis. I am D-Nice. I am the D-Nice Snacks. This big guy. I've got a bunch of toys around my room. Ukulele over there. 300ZX dream car right there. This is me. It's me. And I'm almost done with this Femur. Just putting in the last little bit of rendering with the 7B, 8B darkness of softness of pencil. Makes it a lot easier to get the deeper lines in. And I know for this drawing, my most emphasis was on this middle ridge, because that's where that's like the separation of a value for this illustration. And I know that I tried really hard to get the head of it right, get that sphere as spherical as possible. It's not super, I don't think I did a great job with it, but the kneaded eraser, I think, did a great effect on it to get it a little bit softer. Initially I had a little bit too much line work going on it, but erasing those lines actually left a softness that I think works pretty decently. I could do better next time, but you know, everything here is practice. It's not like I'm gonna go and take this to a gallery and be like, this is the best bone you've ever seen. You know, this is just for me. This is to, yeah, see how far I've come the past couple of years, and if I've improved, and I definitely feel like I have. I'm using a lot more depth of values, of variance in values. I'm minding my highlights and leaving space for them, making sure that I'm not covering every single square inch of this bone with graphite, because there's no reason to. There's a benefit in having a restraint. And I say that because when I was doing my first figure classes, I was known to just be a little too dark with it, too aggressive with my rendering, so I was just getting full, just too much charcoal. Yeah, I might pull up an image as an example of it, and it's probably not bad, but with what I know now, I know I could be doing better. There's a certain amount of restraint that's needed to get it to feel right. You know, I think it's a different feeling when you overdo it, and when it comes to this being an academic drawing, you do want to not be too emotive, I feel like. That said, this isn't the kind of regular content that I'm hoping to be making, and I'm not looking to be a YouTube art instructor. I'm here to share my journey and hopefully drop some tips when I can in something like this, because I'm learning too, and hopefully you find this kind of information helpful. Please let me know if you do, and if you have any suggestions or any requests for any kind of content for the future, any kind of mediums that you'd like to see me work with, please leave a comment below and let me know. I'd love to have a discussion about it. And if you liked the video up to this point, please remember to like it and subscribe if you want to see more. And well, I don't know why I pointed up there. The subscribe button's like, let's move down there. I think here. Yeah. Anywho, getting to the end of the video, just showing you a little bit of close-up for the femur. I think I did the top portion, top half, a little better than the lower half. That the bottom portion of it, I feel like I got a little bit too wide, and I don't necessarily think it's totally accurate. Same thing with the top. I feel like I blew it up a little too much. My drawing's definitely bigger overall, but yeah, these are notes for the next time. So now I know, what to look out for, and hopefully I'll correct those proportions before rendering all the way. But without further ado, thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one. Peace.